Quick disclaimer that this video is only meant for people who want to throw the entire execute for the bomb sites by themselves. Now, today's episode is Overpass, and for the bathroom side of a site execute, what you're going to want to do is come up to this corner on top of con, and the very first smoke is going to be at this pillar here at the very top left corner, left click jump throw. And the second one that you're going to want to throw is look for this chimney, very top middle, aim at that, left click jump throw. That's for the smokes. For the flashbang, you want to look for this black splotch right over here. You guys see this thing? When I aim at the middle of that, left click jump throw for the flashbang. Putting it all together, it's going to look something like this.
Deploying smoke shield. Throwing smoke. Flashbang out.
And what that's going to do is it's going to smoke off bank and smoke off stairs perfectly for your teammates to execute the site. And as for the flashbang, it's going to land above bathrooms, far enough from you so that you don't get flashbanged, even if you're pretty far right. Like you can see, it still doesn't flashbang you, and especially if you're coming out of bathrooms, it's going to do nothing to you. And as for the two open positions on the bomb site, they're obviously going to get full whited for the maximum amount of time. If you ever find yourself being the long player, you actually have a couple more options because you have a clear angle onto truck. Now, what you're going to want to do is first come up onto this pillar. Line yourself up with this little splotch in the middle. Make sure you center yourself with this pillar. Very first smoke, anywhere along this beam right over here, the rightmost beam in the sign. Normal left click throw, it's going to be your smoke to cross onto the site. The second smoke you want to throw is going to be at this middle tip of this branch here. You see these three leaves that stick out the farthest. You're going to want to look for the middle one. Anywhere along this general area, normal left click throw is going to be perfectly fine. As for the Molotov, you're going to want to aim at the very tip of this bush. You see this little branch out of this fern that's sticking out? You want to aim at the very tip of that. Normal left click throw, and then running left click throw. Just tap your W and then left click throw. Putting it all together, it's going to look something like this.
Smoking. Deploying smoke shield. Throwing a Molotov. Molotov out.
What that's going to do is the stairs smoke is going to land pretty deep into the garbage dump so that it doesn't dissipate the smoke onto the molly, onto truck. And both mollies are going to land on the truck itself and pretty much back near the supplies, covering up the entire area. And as you can see, this smoke landed pretty much right over here. And from the perspective of your teammates pushing onto site, it's going to look something like this. It's just going to make their life easier to deal with, you know? And if you really want to put any extra util on top of all of this, which I really don't recommend, I'd say if you want to throw a flashbang, look at this pillar. You see there are these three steps. You're going to want to look at the middle step, leftmost corner, just anywhere along the middle here, left click throw a flashbang. And as you can see on the grenade corner, it's going to land pretty much in the exact same spot as the one you throw from connector. As for the B bomb site, I want to give credit to user davidskp on Reddit. The main star of our show is going to be this interesting god flash. So you see this window to the bottom right corner, there's this pretty noticeable black splotch. Now, you can see if you look at this building, there are these very clear lines, right? And it creates these rectangles. So there's a beam right over here, there's a rectangle beam, there's a second rectangle beam. On the rectangle beam that this black splotch is on, if you just aim your crosshair right at it so that it's in the middle of that beam, but on level with that black splotch, like this, and then you jump throw, it's going to land in a very interesting place. As you can see, it lands right over here, right? Right inside of this crevice. And the reason that's important is because if I were to rethrow it and stare literally directly at it, like let me just throw a couple, it literally does not affect your teammates at all, pushing from sandbag. You might be wondering, what about our teammates in Monster? It doesn't even flash them white at all. And as for our friends who are holding the positions, full white, complete white. You look even onto site, complete white. Look onto graffiti, full whites them as well. So this is a pretty powerful flashbang, but it's a little bit precise to set up. But you see, another benefit of this flashbang is that it's from the exact same spot that a lot of other execute utility are used for the B bomb site on Overpass. So, for the very first one, you're going to want to throw, obviously, always the very first utility you throw on an execute is going to be the harder one, the one that takes longer to set up. So, we're going to aim at this barrel, towards the left side of this barrel, aim up until we reach this corner on the little railing to reach the part of the concrete. Left click jump throw a smoke that's going to land in heaven. You're going to look up until you reach the light pole. Look a little bit to the left until you see this little part that's sticking out. You guys see this part that's sticking out, like of the railing. You're going to aim at that. Normal left click throw. That's going to be your graffiti smoke. And as for the mollies, you're going to want to aim at this pillar until it meets the ground. Shift, W tap, jump throw, a molly. And the next one, you're going to want to aim at the top right corner of the tire. W tap, jump throw. So, putting it all together, including the flashbang, it's going to look something like this.
Throwing smoke. Deploying smoke shield. Molotov out. Molotov out. Flashbang.
And what this is going to do is it's going to molly off pretty much the entirety of sewers and toxic. It's going to smoke off heaven, smoke off graffiti, and including the flashbang, it's going to give your teammates a very comfortable take onto the B bomb site. All right, as for the CT side, there isn't really anything special you need to know. I mean, maybe perhaps just the typical molly that you're supposed to throw like this to get fountain control early on. There are much better ways to throw it than I did just then. Ones that land deeper, take advantage of the really small area of the CT incendiary grenade. However, there is one very particular smoke that you do need to be aware of, and that's going to be the monster smoke. So you're going to come up to this dumpster, same way everyone throws it. You're going to crouch down, remain crouched down, all right? Do not get up, remain crouched down, and then aim for the leftmost little ding that sticks out of this thing. Aim for the very bottom of it. Left click jump throw. What that's going to do is it's going to land on this railing right here in a very weird bounce, and it's just going to land at the very edge of monster. And the reason why you need it to land ever at the edge of the fountain is that, or at the edge of monster, is that, well, your teammates are going to molly it off, obviously, and take very easy control of this area.